Hello, Steve White, Trickboy89 for Steve Arts89. Oh God, I just watched the preview, teaser, scene, whatever from Strange New Worlds Season 3. There is no hope for this show. The first season was interesting, the second season went downhill and ended off really bad. But I thought maybe they can pull it back on the road, back on track. But this is, oh my God, it's so stupid. It's so just, oh my God. There's a scene where, oh God, they show the crew basically, they have to go on some mission, I guess it's on Vulcan or some planet where they have to be Vulcans for some reason. And instead of doing what they did with Kirk in the Enterprise incident, where they basically used plastic surgery to make him appear Vulcan, because that would be intelligent and believable, they inject him with like the reverse serum that made fix Spock when he was fully human, and then they all turn into Vulcans just magically in a course of a minute or so. And they don't just physically turn into Vulcans, they suddenly have all the cultural and life experience sort of reactions and teachings. It's like they've been trained as Vulcans and like they have the attitudes that Vulcans would have because they've lived as Vulcans when they haven't lived as Vulcans. You can't, it's just, suddenly they start talking down to Spock because he's only part human, half human, and they're fully Vulcan, and just, it's so ridiculous. And there's a scene where they're walking down to like the transporter room, and they've got their Vulcan gear on, and Pike, who his hair was kind of cute in the first season, and kind of he was playing with it in the second season. This season, it's a joke. It's so high. This show is a parody at this point. It's a parody of itself when it was sort of a parody of Star Trek. It's made for people who thought the original Star Trek was a joke, who only watch it to laugh at it as some sort of antique cultural sort of thing that you think you're hip because you know about. It's just so many levels of just ridiculous. And I just am having trouble processing how stupid this is, how they think this is good, how they think this is going to go over with Star Trek fans, and how they possibly think this show is... I had hope for this show. I really did. I actually bought the second season on DVD and Blu-ray just because I'm like, I believe they can actually save this. It could actually be a decent show, and I want to try and support it. Unlike all the other shows I never bought. I've just bought Picard Season 3 and the first two seasons of just Strange New Worlds. That's the only thing I've bought since the new Trek era started. So the clip ends with them finishing the mission in like 10 seconds because they're Vulcans, even though they're not Vulcans. They've just been made to physically resemble, and look like Vulcans. They beam up, and then they give them the untested serum, and of course they don't revert back to humans, and now they're fully Vulcan, but they're not even Vulcan. They're physically Vulcan, but it's the stupidest thing ever, and we all know by the end of the episode they're going to be turned back into humans. So it's just so many levels of stupid. It's not funny, it's not clever, it's just cringe and stupid, and it's just for people who hate Star Trek, who think Star Trek is a joke, to laugh at the show. And I think they think they're cool because they're laughing with the people laughing at them because they've created the joke, not being the joke, or not having become the joke, as I think Star Trek has become the joke culturally since, it came out 60 years ago. When people who have any intelligence can appreciate it and view it in the context and enjoy it and find the value in it and the brilliance in it, these people can't. They just think it's a joke. They laugh at it. It's a parody. It makes me sick. I hate it. I hate every second of it. I was about to go to bed. I was just putting on a nice Joan Crawford exploitation film to go to sleep to, hagsploitation film to go to sleep to. I've been up all night. And then I saw this. I'm like, oh, God. And I couldn't turn away. There was a train wreck. I couldn't turn away. And now I'm suffering. And now I just have to stop talking. It's been 4 minutes and I could just go on all night about how stupid this is. And I just... Why can't they believe in Star Trek? Why can't they take it seriously, treat it with some respect, and see that people will understand that and appreciate that and enjoy the show and like the show, and it can be popular because the idea of Star Trek is beautiful. And when it's done properly, it could be great and people could enjoy it. Instead, they just make this ridiculous parody that insults people like me who understand and love the show, and may engage some people who've never liked the show or don't know the show, but they're never going to gain appreciation. They're not going to follow it. They're just going to laugh at it, enjoy it as a joke, and then move on to the next thing that meant nothing to them. Because that's all this is, just nothing. It's stupid.